Services and Kirk Market. Experience a world of choice. And Automotive Art Cayman. Your car, our passion.
And now, Radio Cayman presents The Buzz, an insightful and fresh take on a variety of issues that impact the local environment. This is where we address the topics that matter. Here's your host, Kathy Miller.
Good morning, Cayman. Welcome to The Buzz. I'm your host, Kathy Miller. We are officially into the second week of September. I actually thought it was the third week already, so time is flying a little fast for me. I hope school, the first week of the official full first week of school, went well for everybody out there. I know that the start of the week and last week we saw some accidents, so I hope that this week people are getting into the groove of things again and taking it a little bit easier on the roads. So this morning on The Buzz, I'm going to be speaking with Brett Mobley. He's the general manager of Polar Bear Air Conditioning. We're going to be hearing everything that Polar Bear does to keep your homes comfy, hurricane ready, and full of, I don't know if we can really say fresh air, can we? Good morning, Brett, and welcome to The Buzz.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
No problem. How are you doing today?
Good.
Excellent. Well, it's good to have you. So I said to you right before the show starts, I don't really know anything about AC except for when it breaks down. It's expensive for me to fix. I know that much. Or at least the people I rent from.
Yeah.
So there's that. So tell me about your role with Polar Bear and a little bit about how the company started.
So my parents, Chuck and Betty Ann Mobley, started the company back in the late 80s. Basically, my father was fired from the company he was at the time, and out of necessity, he ended up starting Polar Bear with my mom. So it was a situation where he was basically believed in giving really great service, and the company wouldn't step up to meet where that needed to happen, and ended up, getting fired for pushing the,
what he thought the company needed to do.
What he thought was the right thing to do for the customers.
Right.
And so that's how Polar Bear started. I've got involved with the company since 2017 on a full-time basis. Of course, I would work summers, during summer breaks in the field. But I really got more involved with the company in 2017 after I finished university in the UK. And then just gradually over the past 8 years, I've been kind of taking on a little bit more of the leadership role at the company, giving my dad a chance to sit back a little bit and
cool off.
Yeah, cool off.
Basically.
Good way to put it.
Curious, what did you study in university?
International management.
Okay.
So it's a business.
Absolutely business related.
Yeah.
So was your idea always to go into the family business, or did you have your own kind of career pursuits, aspirations?
My interests were more in sustainability and marine biology. I didn't have the sciences to do marine biology. And I thought, hey, let me do management because this is something general that I can apply. Mm-hmm. My plan was never really to be involved with the company until my dad asked me to come in and help. And I told myself, hey, it's probably important for me to learn the business, but I'm going to do it for at most 2 years. And it's been 8 years, and I don't really see myself doing anything else.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you like the management aspect of it, really, the learning the ins and outs and how to run a business.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome. Well, it just might mean that it could inspire you to start even more businesses, right? So kind of grow that family tree of businesses. Then. Okay, I love that. I think that's good for you. Okay, so Polar Bear has been serving, so you said since the late 80s, right? So I think that's 1988, as I have in my notes. Mm-hmm. So what do you think kept the company going strong for so long? Because that's a long time to exist in Cayman as a pretty successful company.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is there's so many things that can go wrong in business.
Yes.
And so I think between luck, making it through some of the hard times, I hear some stories about, some of the harder times with the business. And there's just so many boxes you have to check in business to make sure that some things don't go wrong to the point where you have to close down. So, the simple and the boring things like making sure you set your price is right, fair price, but also a price that will keep you in business and make sure that you can get through rainy days. Being able, compliance, the boring things like making sure that your vans are insured and everyone who's driving your vans has a valid driver's license. So, there's hundreds, if not thousands of things like that can go wrong. But the thing that I think made the company excel in the way that it did was just good customer service and treating people right. And, my dad always went the extra mile to make a customer's, not even just customers, but anyone that he came in contact with, he would try to go the extra mile to make sure that they had a good experience. And I think that's why we have customers that are, been with us for 30 years and stay with us because they feel like they're being treated.
Yeah, it matters.
Yeah.
And there's a sense of values that your dad probably has established within the company.
Yep.
And that's likely, I want to say, shown through your service and what you guys provide.
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of values resonate with your customers. And when you feel like you're in alignment with the company and the service they're providing you,
Mm-hmm.
everything is great, you're going to be loyal to them,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I think that's a testament as to another reason why your success has been so great since 1988.
Yeah, I mean, and maybe to add on that is not just how he treated customers, but how he treated, staff members.
Yes.
Almost kind of like family, and help them when they needed help, so that they can, take that as an example when they're servicing the clients.
Because it's considered a small business, right?
Yeah, we have 40 employees.
Yeah, I'm small. Okay, I'm like small. Are we hitting on medium right there? I'm not entirely sure, but okay, 40 is pretty good. So you've grown definitely throughout the years.
Yep.
And I'm sure now you're not going to know this exactly, Brett, right? But I'm sure from 1988 to now, your position in the market has changed, right? Polar Bear's position in the market has changed, and there's a lot more competition out there for you. So other AC companies that Polar Bear has to compete with to get new customers or to retain the customers
Sure.
that you've had for years. So how do you think your kind of brand positioning is differently compared to the other AC companies that are out there? Why would we choose Polar Bear?
Well, in our minds, we're seen as the best, and of course, we're gonna think that. We did participate in the Tower marketing survey, and that only confirmed our thoughts. We were the most top of mind AC company on the island.
I love how you started with saying, well, in our minds, we're the best. That's
Yeah.
the way you started, yes.
Yeah. So, but of course, you gotta be humble and make sure you validate some of that stuff with facts.
Of course, yeah. You have to execute and in service
Mm-hmm.
to keep that.
Yeah.
Okay. So the services that you do offer now, I know there's general AC maintenance, but when it comes to all the services Polar Bear Conditioning offers, what would that be?
Yep. So general maintenance, as well as quarterly maintenance. You can be put on a maintenance plan to make sure. We'll cover the scheduling, so you don't need to remember to call every 3 months to get your filters changed and your AC service. It's a maintenance plan. Repairs, troubleshooting if there's issues, installation of new equipment, whether that's more affordable, budget-friendly, basic efficiency systems or top-of-the-line high-efficiency systems that have all the bells and whistles. And then we are doing indoor air quality services as well. So if anyone has allergies or sinuses or issues like that, oftentimes because the AC system produces a lot of moisture, it removes moisture out of the air, and all of that is dripping and then removed through the drain. There's a big accumulation of moisture in the air handler, and we know that life loves water.
Mm-hmm.
So when we're talking about different types of microbial growth like mold or fungus, that stuff, it thrives in the conditions inside, the air conditioning system. So a lot of times that's where the solution is when you're having some kind of issue with, you're sneezing often, or maybe there's a lot of dust. Your AC system can help or really hurt in that regard. So we found we've been able to help people with that quite a lot.
So you completely taught me something new. Maybe it's just that I never paid any attention to it, but I didn't realize that within the vents there for your AC, I didn't realize that was a perfect place for mold to grow and accumulate. So it makes me a little worried because a part of me is like, man, do we really need to every 3 months get our AC service? Like, is this just what the AC guys have said to, make an extra kind of dollar along the way? Like, is it really necessary? And just hearing that alone, that mold can absolutely every month. Actually, I'm going to need you guys to come by every month now instead. So that does make sense in that when it comes to the general maintenance with your AC.
I mean, and the other thing, more modern homes are built very airtight. So what happens is the air that's inside stays inside, and it doesn't really change with the air that's outside. So between a combination of a tighter envelope with the home, but also the types of furniture and paints, these all give off what we call VOCs. They emit some gases. So these are
like toxins, basically.
They can be toxic. They can be toxic. Yeah. Some of them are not. Some of them are perfectly safe, but others are. And that's why it's important to be mindful of what you're bringing in your home, what types of materials are used in the construction of your home, even what types of cleaning products you bring in, because if you're in one of the modern homes that is quite tight, all of that stuff just builds up in high concentrations in the house, unless you have a strategy to dilute the air, which is a real balancing act in such a humid climate like Cayman, because you don't want to bring in humid air, because that adds to the mold dynamic.
Right.
But you also need to dilute the air. So some of the best strategies are to really be mindful of what you're bringing in your home. If you're getting new products or new furniture, making sure it's sourced from with safe materials. And at worst case, you wipe it down before you set it up in your house. So there's quite a lot to think about when it comes to air quality that
I never would have thought
can
about
be
that
a
at
lot
all.
for a homeowner to do all of that research. I mean, it's really good to know for yourself and be educated, but sometimes an expert can come in and, look at certain things that you've taken advantage of for a long time. So,
well, I want to ask, we've got to go to a commercial break, but I want to ask if, I'm going to write the question down because I know I'm going to forget. What happens when you're renting, so you're just bouncing from home to home, and that furniture is already there, the paint's there, the paintings, all that kind of furniture is already set, right? So you don't have, you don't really have that choice with air quality. And, the landlord says, hey, we're going to service you every 3 months, but anything additional, that's out of your pocket. So if I'm concerned about the quality of air in the place that I'm renting from, how would I come to you and say, hey, what could we do to improve this? What are you looking at that point? Now, I can't change the furniture or paint or anything now.
Yeah, I mean, I think it depends what kind of symptoms you're having, because you're obviously limited in what you can maybe do with the landlord's property. So I think just kind of having the conversation with your landlord about what's happening, and depending on the health effect that it's having on you, see what can be done. And in some cases we've dealt with this in certain instances where we've gone to a tenant's place. They've had severe issues, and nothing was done at the place. And then a few years later, they called again from another place because they still had these persistent health issues because of the air quality, that was in one home. And then they moved to another place, and it was the same thing.
Oh, it was the person living, the tenant actually, who had another issue. So, but that could be the tenant themselves having a health issue.
Well, that's the tricky thing with certain types of indoor air quality health issues. If you're exposed to, say, mold or certain allergens for an extended period of time, you can take on some chronic symptoms.
Yeah,
that
I feel like
take a while.
I've seen that happen.
That take a while to, get
to come to the surface.
Healed.
Yeah. All right. I was gonna leave that till after the commercial break, but we already answered that question. We're gonna go to the commercial break right now, and we'll be back in a few.
The Cayman Islands boasts of a long, colorful, and rich history. In tribute to our roots, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Historical Vignette Series, brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects. The Cayman Islands, He hath founded it upon the seas.
Heber Elroy Arch, 1898-1993.
Elroy Arch was born in Georgetown, the second child of James Heber and Virginia Arch. He was a man of many talents: preacher, politician, building contractor, shipwright, butcher, and farmer. With his father and brothers, he built many of the sailing ships whose names are still remembered, including the Wilson, Goldfield, Adams, and Arbutus. The schooners built in the Arch shipyard were used by Caymanian seamen for turtling in the Mosquito Keys and to bring cargo from the foreign ports. Mr. Elroy served as a member of the Assembly of Justices and Vestry from 1939 to 1954, when visitors from the United States discovered Cayman as a vacation destination. Mr. Elroy built the first winter homes and the first hotel on 7 Mile Beach. He and his wife, Bride Nee Bodden, had 2 children. Mr. Elroy had a wealth of knowledge about Cayman's history and loved to tell the stories told to him by his parents and grandparents, and taped many of these accounts for the National Trust and National Archive and the National Museum.
Since 1993, Rotary Central has worked diligently each year to provide quality bus shelters to our community, a traveling convenience to our school children, the elderly, young people going to work, guest workers, and visitors using the public bus. We, Rotary Central, help you, our advertisers, make it happen. Your marketing dollar travels a far way, positioning your message, your product, your services, your presence in over 83 bus shelters. Every dollar you spend, every advert you place helps to build another bus shelter, providing modest comfort for Cayman travelers. Reserve space now on the only billboard medium in the Cayman Islands. Email rotaryshelters@gmail.com. rotaryshelters@gmail.com. The Bus Shelters, a partner in community convenience. Another inspiration program by Rotary Central Cayman Islands.
Radio Cayman's Historical Vignettes was brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
I'm Michael Webster.
And I'm Denise Brown of Cayman Insurance Center.
Family is not the most important thing, it's everything.
We have worked with the community and their families on protecting themselves for the future.
Whether it's providing top-rated life insurance
or protecting your family's household investment.
From our family to yours, we understand and we care.
I'm Denise Brown. Call me at 814-7229.
And I'm Michael Webster at 925-5433.
We are Cayman Insurance Center,
specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services at an affordable rate. We are Michael and
Denise at Cayman Insurance Center.
Call today.
Tired of burning cash at the gas pump and wasting time in traffic?
Say goodbye to gridlock and hello to freedom with a Kimco scooter from Automotive Art. Trusted in over 100 countries, Kimco is now known worldwide for reliable, fuel-efficient scooters built to last. Perfect for Cayman's roads. With 2 models to choose from, the Agility 125cc for just $23.99 and the Agility RS Naked 125cc for $24.99. It's the smart, budget-friendly way to beat traffic and cut costs. Visit Automotive Art today and ride smarter with Kimco, because saving money should never mean slowing down.
We are in the hurricane season, and knowing what to do after a hurricane can be as important as preparing for the storm. After the passage of a hurricane, seek medical attention if it is needed at hospitals and clinics for those persons who are injured. Do not touch power lines and cables that are down; they may be active. Report them to 911 or the utility emergency hotlines. Broken tree limbs should be removed from around homes and buildings if possible. This hurricane information was brought to you by Breeze FM and Radio Cayman.
The Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller.
Welcome back to The Buzz. I'm your host, Kathy Miller, and I am chatting with Brett Mobley, the general manager for Polar Bear Air Conditioning. We got a bit of a history on Polar Bear. They've been around in Cayman since 1988, and it was started by Brett's parents, and he became the general manager. He finished school around 2017 you finished, and that's when you started with the company, and he thought, okay, maybe I'll give it a couple years, and he's been with them ever since, and now he doesn't think he's ever going to leave. So that's music to his parents' ears, I'm sure. I'm absolutely sure about that. All right, so we are in hurricane season, so I want to know if there's any kind of extra step that Polar Bear Air Conditioning might do to help your customers prepare for hurricane season. And on the flip of that, or a second part of that question, with hurricane season, being upon us, is there anything we all should know on how to treat our AC systems if a storm is coming?
Right. So, we have a couple of packages, because there's quite a few things you can do to kind of safeguard your equipment. Obviously,
I never would have thought that.
A major
turn it off. That's all I would know.
Yeah. Outside of having a company out to put some safety, devices and whatnot on the equipment during a hurricane, it's a good idea to turn it off, especially when you're getting to the height of the storm. Of course, there's certain situations that are not going to save your AC. If you were here during Ivan, you would know. There's no definite safeguard, but there are a few really good things that you can do. And actually, one thing that you can do by yourself is just before and after some bad weather is just wash down your outdoor unit, because that's kind of one of the worst things that we have to cope with. Your AC system has to cope with is just the salt and the corrosion that brings, because we're always getting salt, depending on where you're located, especially on the coastlines, but everywhere has salt air.
Yeah, pretty much
impacting the AC systems, and they corrode over time. They cause really expensive repairs, right?
That's a great tip.
So that's really easy to do, and that's a good thing to do year round, because it's a small island. There's salt everywhere. Some of the things that we offer additionally are like just some tie down brackets that keep your system in place so the wind doesn't blow it off. We have some covers. They're like a mesh that goes over top of the outdoor unit so that you don't get leaves and debris, and different, sometimes even outside of hurricane season, you'll get snakes or frogs getting into the system, frying the boards, getting wrapped around the motor.
I'm used to the frogs.
Yeah.
It makes a bit of a sound.
Yeah. We put a silicone spray over the control board so that if frogs do get on it, they don't fry it out. We have some corrosion grenades. These are little corrosion inhibitors that you put on the copper pipes, and it basically absorbs, or it attracts all of the corrosion. It basically sacrifices itself so that the rest of the system doesn't,
impacted is an
get
impacted.
that corrosion on it.
Okay.
So, let's see. And then surge protectors and voltage range monitors. So I think we're all familiar with surge protectors. We see that quite often on our computers and other appliances, and that's what takes care of when there's an accident or there's some kind of short. A lot of shorts do occur inside the home, and that's when the voltage, the power to the house just has a really fast, like millisecond surge, and that can cause damage on the electrical components. We have some really great ones that have lifetime warranty on them. And then the voltage range monitor is a newer product on the market that monitors the supply of voltage, and it's less of looking for a quick millisecond surge in voltage, but it's looking at what is being supplied by the power company. And sometimes if it's slightly high, like just a steady supply of voltage that's slightly too high or slightly too low, over time that can put wear on electrical components as well, and that'll shut the system off if it sees voltage that's out of range for that equipment.
Okay, I have a whole bunch of technical questions that have come right out of that right there, but unfortunately I have a little less than 3 minutes, so I can't ask all my technical questions right now. And there's a couple of important ones that I want to get to as well. So I feel like you just opened up a whole, not a can of worms, but in a sense of, I could really ask you a whole bunch of things now, but time doesn't allow. So to move on, you spoke yourself about sustainability. You have an interest in sustainability, and Polar Bear is promoting energy efficiency. And we know that it's a bit of a thing. We know what that's like in Cayman. We know what our high electrical costs are, right? So when it comes to energy efficiency, are there certain steps that Polar Bear is trying to do to be a little bit more greener, a little bit more sustainable in your practices?
Well, we have always stocked and promoted high efficiency equipment. We were the first on the island to really push that because it really helps clients. If it's a little bit more expensive on the front end, but over time you make back the money that you spent usually within 2 or 3 years. And
I'm going to quickly plug that. I had a terrible experience with my AC. It wasn't you guys that my landlord does use, but terrible experience. And in a 2-bedroom condo, it was over $500 a month, and I was freaking out. Like, why is my AC that much? And they eventually came and they completely replaced everything. The outdoor unit as well, everything. My bill was cut down, less than half.
Yeah.
So you're completely right.
Yeah, we
Huge
see that,
savings to my pocket.
Yeah, we see that every day. And it's not just the equipment, it's also the ductwork. It's the ducts that supply the cooling to the home. If they're not sized and designed correctly, then the system is going to overwork either way. So it's looking at the system from the entire thing, because everything works and comes together for it to function properly.
All right. The energy efficiency thing I plugged into your answer. Sorry.
Yeah.
You got a minute. We got a minute.
And then, so the other thing is, and it's important for homeowners and business owners to be aware that equipment is changing. If you were around 15, 20 years ago, you would have experienced the shift from R22 systems to 410A systems, and now we're phasing down 410A. So a lot of the existing equipment that is out there won't be supplied for much longer. So if it's something to be mindful of. If you need to change maybe one part of your system, it might be a good time to go ahead and change it before you're forced to change the entire system, because the old equipment is not compatible with the new equipment.
And I doubt you can get parts for the new equipment. I doubt they're going to be making you can't use the old parts with the new equipment. I'm sure that's how it's going, because that's, I'm just thinking about Apple.
There's a whole bunch of workarounds. As technicians, we find a way.
I'm sure.
But if you want it to run properly and as per the manufacturer, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Then, you just plan early.
All right, we got to wrap, Brett. Sorry. Tell people how they can get in touch with you or Polar Bear Conditioning.
You can reach our website, polarbear.ky. I should have put a plug in for our sister company, Appliance Doctors, as well. We're on Facebook. We're on all social media. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know Appliance Doctors was you guys. I called you guys the other day. My TV blew up in front of me. I was like, what's going on? You know what? That was a reminder. You need a surge protector. So right there, we're going to go to the slightly late time check and 8 a.m. news.
The time on Radio Cayman is now 8:01, and it is brought to you today by Foster's.
When you're on the go, the experienced team at Foster's Pharmacy are here to help. Drop off your prescription while you shop or WhatsApp us and we'll prepare it, ready for your arrival.
Whether you need prescription or over-the-counter medications, blood glucose testing, or advice on vitamins and supplements, we're here early in the morning to late at night. Both of our locations at our Camana Bay and airport stores are open 7 a.m. to 9 p.m., Monday to Saturday.
For more info, visit fosters.ky/pharmacy. Foster's Pharmacy. Better health because we care.
Covering Little Cayman, Cayman Bride.
Cover me. Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
For today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
With your latest news, I'm Carsley Fuller. August sees its highest maximum temperature ever, also ranking it the second highest temperature ever recorded for Grand Cayman total, following the 95.5 degree Fahrenheit logged in July 2023. So in August, the average temperature was 87 degrees, but that max was 94.8. The National Weather Service says August also saw 7 inches of rain. Now, speaking of monthly breakdowns, there were 1,700 jobs advertised last month. The Workforce Opportunities and Residency Cayman's August jobs report says that's down from just over 1,800 logged in July. The vast majority of those postings were in the construction industry, with about 23% of the total openings. This was followed by administrative and support services at 17%. That follows the overall yearly trend so far, with those two fields representing about 35% of all jobs posted in the Cayman Islands on the work portal this year. The vast majority of those also only required a high school degree or higher, representing nearly 60% of all job openings. But most jobs required between 3 and 4 years of prior experience. Work says the report is a key indicator in predicting labor demand and can help shape training and development needs of the current and future workforce. Government purchases a critical piece of land in West Bay to build a new police station and eventually develop it into an emergency services center. Speaking on Radio Cayman's For the Record, West Bay MP and Finance Minister, the Honourable Rolston Anglin, said the decision was driven by both safety and practicality, as the current police station has been condemned and the community has long opposed relocating it to a swampier location.
This piece of property now gives us the opportunity to build the future new West Bay Police Station at the highest point in the district. So now, one critical piece of emergency services is going to be at the highest point, which serves us well when it comes to inclement weather. We're in the Caribbean. We know the threat that hurricanes pose to us. Long term, what we would want to also do is put the new clinic up there, so that up on the lighthouse, we would have the emergency services center for the district.
Mr. Anglin says because the land purchase is considered a capital asset, it won't worsen the budget deficit. At the end of August, it was 24. Now it's 27. The number of attacks on police officers continues to rise. Police Commissioner Kurt Walton.
We have seen an increase in 2 main categories, public order offenses and violence against the person. It's about 200 more crimes in those 2 categories. Both of those normally will find yourself as an officer attending, have some sort of hostile environment and need to de-escalate that situation. More often than not, it's de-escalated, but there are unfortunately times where individuals are not being compliant and we find ourselves having to make an arrest.
The latest officer assault took place on Thursday when a man pulled a knife and he was ultimately tased and arrested.
We are a good police service. We want to be a great police service. We do have our flaws. I agree. We have our flaws, but we're not inept. Do we want to do better? 100%. We need your support from the community.
At this rate, Commissioner Walton tells CIGTV the Cayman Islands is expected to overtake the number of officer assaults when compared to recent past years. There were 29 reported in the entirety of 2024 and 23 the year before. Now with a check of international news, here's the BBC, which takes us out of the newscast. I'm Carsley Fuller.
BBC News with Danielle Yawowiecka. Nepal's Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli has resigned a day after the killing of 19 anti-corruption protesters. Demonstrations have continued, with reports that 2 more people have died from their injuries. Ethiopia has officially switched on Africa's largest hydroelectric project. The huge dam on the Blue Nile is expected to double Ethiopia's electricity output and supply power to neighbouring countries. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky says a Russian airstrike on a village in the east of the country has killed more than 20 people who were waiting to collect their pension. Many others were injured during the attack. The French Prime Minister François Bayrou has arrived at the Élysée Palace to hand in his resignation. Mr. Bayrou lost a confidence vote in Parliament on Monday. It leaves President Macron searching for his fifth Prime Minister in less than 2 years. BBC World News.
Stay in touch with Radio Cayman with the latest up-to-date, accurate news and information. For your convenience, the headline news will be repeated on our sister station, Breeze 105.3 FM, weekdays at 8:30 a.m. Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or download the Radio Cayman app in the App Store or log on to www.radiocayman.gov.ky and stay connected to what's happening in the community. Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice, your radio.
Tune in every Monday through Friday at 12 p.m. for Radio Cayman's Midday Newscast. Radio Cayman, the People's Station, your trusted official source for the latest news. The 12 p.m. news is proudly brought to you by Health City Cayman Islands. World-class healthcare within your reach.
Did you know that HPV, or human papillomavirus, is known to cause certain types of cancer? HPV is spread through skin-to-skin contact and easy to contract. The HPV vaccine is our best protection against HPV-related cancers. It is safe for children and youth ages 9 and up, and for those under the age of 25, all it takes is a single dose. It's time to arm against cancer, Cayman. Get the HPV vaccine today. For more information on where to get vaccinated, contact the Public Health Department on 244-2648 or 244-2889.
The 8 a.m. weather update brought to you by CG Britcade, where people come first.
Aunt Angie, how does it feel to have broken the bull riding world record?
Sore, Sean. That bull was angry.
Angie, I think that bull is headed towards your red convertible.
I broke the world record and he broke my car. Oh well, at least I've got CG Comprehensive Motor to cover this.
Get covered for collision, damage, and more. CG Britcade. Good like that. All benefits are subject to policy provisions, including eligibility at the time of service.
Thank you so much for staying with us right here on Radio Cayman 89.9. It is now time for another weather update. The temperature right about now is 87 degrees. Wind speeds are 4.4 knots, with the wind direction being southeasterly. Humidity is now standing at 72%, with the barometric pressure at 101.4 millibars. Let's take a look at what will be happening later on today. A weak ridge across the northwestern Caribbean will allow for stable conditions over the Cayman area today, with light winds and smooth seas. Radar images shows a few showers in and around the Cayman area moving towards the north-northwest. Today, expect mainly sunny skies with a 30% chance of afternoon showers and possible thunder. Temperatures will rise to the near low 90s with a heat index of 106 degrees Fahrenheit. Oh, I thought summer was over. Winds will be east to southeast at 5 to 10 knots, and seas will be smooth with wave heights of less than 2 feet. Tonight, expect mainly clear skies with a 30% chance of late night showers and possible thunder. Temperatures will fall to the near low 80s, and winds will be easterly at 5 to 10 knots. Seas are expected to be smooth with wave heights of less than 2 feet. Sunset later today will be at 6:31 and sunrise at 6:13 tomorrow morning. The outlook is for an increase in the chance of showers and some thunderstorms starting tomorrow as a surface trough moves across the western Caribbean. And that is it for your weather update. Coming up, we have your traffic update. This is Radio Cayman 89.9.
The 8 a.m. weather update brought to you by CG Britcade, where people come first.
Since 1993, Rotary Central has worked diligently each year to provide quality bus shelters to our community. a traveling convenience to our school children, the elderly, young people going to work, guest workers, and visitors using the public bus. We, Rotary Central, help you, our advertisers, make it happen. Your marketing dollar travels a far way. Positioning your message, your product, your services, your presence in over 83 bus shelters. Every dollar you spend, every advert you place helps to build another bus shelter, providing modest comfort for Cayman travelers. Reserve space now on the only billboard medium in the Cayman Islands. Email rotaryshelters@gmail.com. rotaryshelters@gmail.com. The Bus Shelters, a partner in community convenience. Another inspiration program by Rotary Central Cayman Islands.
Social media, X, formerly Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Interact with our talk shows on YouTube. Download our official Radio Cayman app, or you can log on to our website, www.radiocayman.gov.ky. You can also add us to WhatsApp
on 925-3261.
All the latest information, breaking news, community events, and more. Radio Cayman.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Enjoy a delicious start to your day with breakfast from Subway.
Get ready for something sweet, spicy, and totally crave-worthy. The hot honey chicken sandwich is here, and it's bringing the heat. We've taken our tender, juicy chicken and drenched it in bold hot honey sauce for the perfect balance of sweetness and spice. But hurry, this one's only here for a limited time. Hot honey chicken. Try it today before it's gone. Subway. Eat fresh.
And a huge thank you to Subway for sponsoring this traffic update as we take a look at what's happening on some of our roads across Grand Cayman. I want to say a very good morning to all my friends in Cayman Brac and Little Cayman. I know the traffic isn't as bad as over here. A very good morning to you. All right, so I was just taking a look at the East-West Arterial Road, and I was so happy to see that the traffic has dispersed coming from the east. So if you're coming from the east heading towards the East-West Arterial Road, you won't experience much delays at that junction. You should be good. But not the same for Crew Road. If you're coming from Agnes Way coming onto Crew Road, expect quite a bit of delay, bumper-to-bumper standstill traffic on Agnes Way and on Crew Road. So when you merge onto Crew Road, you will continue to experience bumper-to-bumper traffic, all right? A little more patience, a little bit of patience needed. If you're coming from Bobby Thompson Way heading towards the Smith Road Junction, a little bit of a delay I'm seeing there, a little bit of a backup, but that backup is clearing intermittently. So I'm hoping that you're not too late for work or for school. Continue to drive safely, my friends. Heading on over to the CNB roundabout. If you're coming from Huldah Avenue into the CNB roundabout, expect a little bit of delay as there is some traffic pileup on Huldah Avenue. But traffic is moving. And the traffic is moving pretty smoothly on some of our other roads. Edward Street, traffic is looking good. Shedden Road, not seeing much activity right now. If you're heading to or from the airport and you're on Owen Roberts Drive, traffic is looking good. Seeing just a few cars in both directions. And if you're on West Bay Road in the vicinity of the Ritz, traffic is moving smoothly in both directions. And that is it for your traffic update right here on Radio Cayman 89.9, brought to you today by Subway.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Enjoy a delicious start to your day with breakfast from Subway.
The Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller.
Welcome back to The Buzz. I'm your host, Kathy Miller. In this segment of the show, we are talking with Cristina Spratt, founder and principal consultant at Tidal Edge Consulting. It's a company helping organizations harness the power of artificial intelligence and digital transformation. From streamlining workflows to building resilience and innovation, Tidal Edge is helping organizations in Cayman and beyond navigate transformation, emerging technologies, and sustainable growth. There's that word, sustainable, again. So welcome to the show, Cristina. How are you doing?
Thank you so much for having me.
It's good to have you. No problem at all. We've met a couple weeks ago. We got to know each other a little bit more last week.
Yes, we did.
I liked it. We did a little bit of show planning. And I love what you're doing with Tidal Edge. I think it's a great company. You're doing great things. So let us start with you introducing yourself to our listeners. Get a bit of a career background on you and what inspired you to start Tidal Edge Consulting.
Okay, let's start this. So, talking a little bit about myself first. I've been in the tech, in the tech world for over 20 years. Mm-hmm. And in those 20 years that I have been working in tech, I've been, working from hardware and helping companies get the right hardware in place to move along. I've been working in telecommunications and in the consulting space. And that consulting space is very tied to how do I use this to make my company the right one. I am a systems engineer, and I have so many industry certifications. It's sometimes funny to just list them all out. But most recently, I have really been focusing on two specific areas. One of them is AI. The first AI certification that I just got was the governance and ethics. And after I did that one, I was just like, something? Yes, I can be a CTO, I can be a CIO, but I want to be a CAIO, so a Chief AI Officer.
Okay. Now, I'm going to stick a pin right away.
Okay, go on.
Why did you want to focus on AI?
There's a lot of people talking about it out there, and a lot of people saying, I think that the one thing that I've learned about AI is that everybody that's in the AI space has to gracefully agree to disagree. Some people are saying, this is going to just take away all the people force from the companies. And some people are saying, no, absolutely not. Some people are saying that this is kind of they go to the Matrix and they go to all these sci-fi movies and go to that side of things, and they're just like, no, this is just going to end humanity. Mm-hmm. And I don't see it like that. I see AI as a tool, as something that if we actually use it correctly and implement it correctly in our companies, it's going to help us 1,000%. We shouldn't fear it. We should embrace it. But companies need to do that right at the same time. It's not just about throwing out there all these fancy, shiny tools to say that, oh, we're using AI. It's about, are we using it correctly? Are we training our staff to use it correctly? Are we having the right governance in place to bring these new tools? So that got me into my Chief AI Officer certification.
And I echo a couple of things that you say when it comes to how people are perceiving AI. Mm-hmm. So there is the doom and gloom. And then often I'm like, why are we going to such a doom and gloom thinking of it right away? Like, all the jobs will be lost. Like, everybody will be poor everywhere. And I can't remember if I said it to you when we met, outside of the show, or if I said it on a previous show talking about AI. But I was listening to a former Google executive whose remit was very heavily to do with AI. Mm-hmm. And what he had said, it was in a podcast called The Diary of the CEO. And what he had said in this was, why do we have to look at AI as such a terrible thing? Why can't we look at it as if it can do all the work for us if it's going to get to that point? Why should we be working so much? Why should we be working at all? Why can't we live in a utopian society where AI is doing all that work and we are living and doing whatever we want, spending all the time we want with our family and friends, pursuing whatever passions we have because AI is doing all the work out there. We don't need to make the money anymore. And that was a completely different way of looking at how great AI might be for us compared to the doom and gloom that we're hearing sometimes from people, right?
Absolutely. And if you look at people in their work today, and I raise my hand and say I was there, and I know so many people that are there, they're in their daily work, they're dealing with the urgent and not the important. Mm. And we all have things that are very important in our roles and things that are just urgent, fires that we just have to turn off. We just have to deal with that. And that makes our workday from a regular workday to an extended workday. Why? Because we had to deal with the urgent. Now where's my time to work with the important? And if we're implementing AI correctly, all that urgent stuff most likely is things that are recurring, that just keep on coming to haunt us. And why not have a tool to help us take that out of our plate?
Yes. I feel you. Yeah, why not? Make it a little easier.
Yeah.
If somebody could wash the dishes for me all the time, I know people have dishwashers. I do not. I absolutely would take that up. Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. So I can't remember if you said what inspired you to start Tidal Edge.
No, I did not. I did not get there. But really, what inspired me to get Tidal Edge off the ground was being able to talk to people about the right tools, the right frameworks. And I keep on talking about frameworks, and I know that some people look at me odd when I keep on using this word of framework. But it's just like, do we have the right ideas in our mind to get this moving forward? That's what a framework is. And support to drive our community. And that really is one of the things that got me moving. And Tidal Edge is about helping organizations here and across the region to move forward from vision to execution with clarity, with discipline, and a trusted strategic guidance. And I know that's a mouthful. But at the end of the day, that strategic guidance is needed. We all talk about being strategic, but very few actually practice it.
That's true. And I think that brings me to coaching.
Okay.
So some of the most successful CEOs, business owners, founders have coaches.
Yeah. That's exactly it. Yeah. So your company, and Tidal Edge is focused on technology transformation. I'm not going into the nitty-gritty of your HR challenges or how do you change something that's very specific to something. It's a lot, just bring it back to how technology is going to support my company and support it in the right way. Not just, let me just throw this in the wall and see if it sticks there. It's with intention. Lots of companies just put Band-Aids on. It's not about putting the Band-Aid. Sometimes the Band-Aid is needed, but the Band-Aid has to have a plan B. If I have a cut, I'll put a Band-Aid on it. But if I need stitches, I better go and get stitches. The Band-Aid is not going to do much for that cut.
You want to get to the root.
You want to get to the root. That's exactly it.
Okay, so the services and support the Tidal Edge offers. Can you tell us about that?
Yes. So we are focusing on a few things, diverse things, but all that just comes back down to everything from digital modernization and infrastructure upgrades. And when I talk about infrastructure upgrades, it's not just about something's end of life and what do I do next. It's about, let's see if the infrastructure that you have in place is the right one for this day and age, not the one that you brought 10 years ago that might be obsolete. And that comes into the AI integration, the automation, the Internet of Things deployment. There's so many cool gadgets out there. And I meet a lot of people that want all the gadgets. But when you start going into the nitty-gritty of what those gadgets are going to actually do for my business, typically only 10% of them are needed.
Like all those fees I see on some of my receipts. Really, only a couple of those fees are necessary and needed.
Yeah.
But yes, I get it.
Yeah, that's exactly it. But we just don't focus on the technology for its own sake. We really ensure that it's aligned with the business goals and the capacity. And that's where it's important to look at it. A lot of people love technology just because they love the gadgets. Is it tied to your business goals?
Right.
And yeah, that's Tidal Edge.
Okay.
To keep you on the edge of the tide, not drowning in the middle of the ocean.
Okay, I feel you. I feel you. I like that. What kind of problems do you help your clients solve?
So what I mostly see is that we have clients that are typically overwhelmed with rapid change, or because they need to modernize and they know that they need to modernize, but they just don't know where to start because they're just like, how much is this going to cost me? Can I actually afford this?
And is it fair to say, is this an era of where that rapid change is happening exponentially greater than it has ever happened in previous eras. Like there's the Industrial Revolution, for example, and technological revolution, and it's, I feel like that was a little bit slower moving in a sense, but now I kind of feel like things are really, really happening fast, and I can understand the being overwhelmed.
Yeah, absolutely. We have something today that we didn't have in the past, and it's the rapid communications around the globe. Think about it. Before for the news, you would have to wait for the newspaper.
Right, yeah.
You would have to wait for the news to get to the newspaper, to the physical paper newspaper to get there.
Or you would tune into radio right away to get the immediate news, which is still very relevant today.
Exactly.
Or TV, right?
Thank you, yes. Yeah. You tune into your radio station. I remember my parents would have the radio on every morning. It would be what I would wake up every morning, hearing the news. And they would love the morning segment because it would not just give them what was happening that day, but what happened before, and most likely in the radio station, it would have gotten to some global news. Mm-hmm. So they would be able to listen to all of this. Today, we're so used to the instant gratification, the instant news. If something's happening, most likely there's somebody with their phone just taping it live.
Right.
There's no real thought of the consequences of what happens when you're just putting that live out there.
Right.
But it's out there right away. And because we live in that instant gratification, people feel that everything has to be now.
Right.
So, yes, we are moving exponentially faster, but we're moving at a speed that we're just not used to because that's not how we grew up. That's not what we saw. Notice that kids take it a lot better in one way or another because it's kind of natural for them. Oh, yeah, this is it. And some of them will take it with a chill pill and say, who knows what happened there. They process it differently as well.
Maybe because they're so used to that constant influx of those little bite-sized pieces of content, that little news, constantly changing, that you almost don't have that time to sit and have any sort of emotional connection or reaction to it.
Yeah, that's very, very true. And then the other part that we have to look about it is that...
I know we deviated a little tiny bit there.
I know, we went into
with us.
Yeah. And the only thing, just to close that, I would say, is that the important part here is that we have to look at our technology, our emerging technologies, as the tools that are going to support us. Yes. Not that the humans are going to be supporting those things or we're going to become little zombies of those things. And that is something that Tidal Edge does focus about. So that really means that our customers are getting solutions that are not only innovative, but also scalable, that they help them be compliant and sustainable, not just, let me just throw all this money at it just to make it work.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to hear a little bit more about the services that you do offer. We got to go to a quick commercial break. We're going to give people a little tiny break of us, 3 minutes maybe, 2.5. And we'll be back to get a little bit deeper into the services that are offered by Tidal Edge.
Awesome. Thank you.
I'm Michael Webster.
And I'm Denise Brown of Cayman Insurance Center.
Family is not the most important thing, it's everything.
We have worked with the community and their families on protecting themselves for the future.
Whether it's providing top-rated life insurance
or protecting your family's household investment.
From our family to yours, we understand and we care.
I'm Denise Brown. Call me at 814-7229.
And I'm Michael Webster at 925-5433.
We are Cayman Insurance Center,
specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services at an affordable rate. We are Michael and
Denise at Cayman Insurance Center.
Call today.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or build a fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
The soundtrack to your best memories lives on. Breeze 105.3 FM. From the golden hits of the 70s and 80s. I love you so. To the songs that still move you today. It's the music you know. The music you love. Uplifting mornings. Smooth afternoons. And good vibes all day long.
All my years, I guess I shed it.
Don't just listen to the radio. Feel the breeze. Breeze 105.3 FM. Your station. Your music. Your memories.
The Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller.
Welcome back to The Buzz. I'm your host, Kathy Miller, and I'm speaking with Cristina Spratt, founder and principal consultant at Tidal Edge Consulting. We are talking about how Tidal Edge helps businesses navigate digital transformation, emerging technologies, and sustainable growth. Now, Cristina, if you could just once again give a bit of a brief summary of the services, because it's a bunch of different ones that Tidal Edge offers, right?
Yes. Okay, so what it's important to highlight is that we support our clients with everything from digital transformation, digital modernization, to infrastructure upgrades, to AI integration, automation, the Internet of Things deployments. However, we just don't focus on technologies for its own sake. And we also ensure it's aligned with the business goals. We ensure that it's aligned with the capacity of the business. And all of that is really to bring the value between strategy and execution for the companies, but really focused on the technology element of all of this.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, yeah, I get it. I gotcha. Because that's, my next lead-up question here is if you could describe your positioning in the market compared to businesses who might offer the same or similar services. Why Tidal Edge?
Why Tidal Edge? So one of the main reasons of why picking Tidal Edge, specifically when we're talking about technology, is that we bring a wealth of information of how companies work with technology. We don't just look at it from, this looks really good in paper, but how is this actually going to affect my business? We focus on the technology transformation aspect of things. We focus on looking at your business continuity plans from a technology perspective. So it's not just about business continuity of things that can physically happen, but also from business continuity of how technology gets, what happens when technology gets impacted. How does my business continue to work when that technology kicks in? And in addition to that, the part that I really have a lot of fun with is creating roadmaps. A lot of companies feel overwhelmed. They're just like, we know we need all of this, but I have no idea where to start. I have no idea how to actually get this moving forward. And we break it down into bite-sized pieces to say, this is a bigger picture. This is where you need to start in point A, and this is where you need to finish in point B. Mm-hmm. But it's not just a very long 300-page report. It's, let's do this in these 10 steps, 20 steps. It's about no two engagements are the same thing. So it really is how ready that company is to move forward with their technology transformation. If anybody knows me, they know that that's where I get my high on of saying, right, we're going to make this happen. Mm-hmm. We're going from point A to point B. This is the plan. I am a project manager. I was certified at Stanford University as a project manager. And one of my highs is project managing everything in my life. I don't know. It's something that I love to do. So anybody that knows me knows that everything is tied up to plans, little bite-sized plans. Mm-hmm. But when we achieve these little bite-sized plans, you actually start seeing how things are moving forward, how they're changing, right, the different elements around it to actually make that transformation the right one. You can't transform technology if you don't involve the people around the company. If the people that are actually using the technology are not engaged with that technology, you're going to have resistance.
Right. Oh, yes. No matter what era of life you're from.
Yeah. Because if they don't understand, why am I going to do this?
Mm-hmm.
Why am I going to use this technology? Am I going to use this technology for it to take my job away? No. So working with the people and working with not just the senior leadership, but working with the company to get everybody on the same page. And this is why we're doing this in these bite-sized things, those roadmaps.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I love doing.
I feel like I need a roadmap to my life, period. Never mind. just a company. But I understand that because I think breaking things down instead of one massive kind of goal, but breaking them down into the smaller achievable goals to reach the big ultimate one, to me is way easier in achieving whatever that ultimate goal is.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I can reward myself along the way of, boom, I got this done. And it gives the momentum.
Yes, that's exactly it. Yes. And people actually start seeing the results of it, not instantaneously, but much quicker.
Yeah.
And it makes sense for them.
It's a gratification.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I hate working for things that in a year I'm going to see the result to. What? That's why the gym is so hard at times. Gosh, okay, all right.
Or diets.
Or diets, yes, absolutely. What do you mean I'm going to see it in 3 months? I'm going to see a result in 3 months, and then maybe my colleague will notice in 6 months. Really?
Yeah, and I'm just like, I
don't have time for that.
I need it for this weekend.
Yes. All right, moving on. You have a motto on your website, empowering change, enabling innovation, and building resilience. How do you approach carrying your motto into your work?
Oh my gosh.
It's a heavy question.
No, yeah, it is. It is, but it's one that I live intentionally. Anything that I do it with intention. And when I put that up there on the website, it was put there with intention. And it really reflects our philosophy and the approach that we take with every engagement. I don't see it as a tagline or, all these words together sound pretty and fancy. No, it's really how we deliver value. And I'm just going to break it down because it's
break it down.
It's a little bit long. So it's about, the first part that says empowering change. And what does it mean to empower change? It's about not just giving executives, but giving every person, the teams across the organization, the clarity, the structure, and support that they need to lead change confidently. A lot of what we do at Tech, it's about helping organizations break big goals into manageable, actionable plans. We were just talking about that. So that's the part of empowering change. Not just the executives, but everybody within the business. Enabling innovation. When we enable innovation, we really focus on making innovation practical and measurable. Nobody wants to just be throwing things. Everybody wants to say, what do I get for this? If you go to large organizations, they'll be saying, what are the KPIs? How do I actually know that this has been being effective? And that's where we might be involving AI or automation, or we could be redesigning internal workflows to unlock that improved performance. But we always ask, what's the outcome that this innovation supports? And that should be the question that anybody that's thinking about doing something in their businesses think. What is the outcome of this innovation? What is it going to support? We don't just push the trend. Oh, this looks cool. This looks pretty. This is going to sound amazing. But it's really built, purposely driven solutions. And then finally, the building resilience. Excuse me. And that's where the building resilience is, we know where we live. We know the region that we live in. And it's about preparing our customers to prepare for disruption. We're going to have disruption. At some point in time, we're going to have it. The million-dollar question is when. Right. And whether it's a cyber incident, I'm talking about it from the technology side, not from the physical one, the technology side. There's going to be a cyber incident at some point. Let's face it, there's a lot of cyber attacks out there. And it's not to scare anybody. It's, if we're prepared, throw it at me. Yeah. It's the same thing as driving. If you're prepared to drive, you can deal with the crazy drivers. Well, sometimes. It's cyber incidents, regulatory change. Regulatory changes, sometimes there's regulatory changes, and what I see people doing is a lot of manual work to comply with that regulatory change. Because the data that they've gotten doesn't really work for that regulatory change. So that's important as well. Or, you know, and yes, we will talk about hurricanes because that's all that's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And then the technology side of things, it really is about designing continuity strategies, simulate the risk, and build internal capabilities. They're not just reacting, but they're ready. And for that, you know, that's the guiding principle that we have for that is make change meaningful, make innovation responsible, and make resilience a long-term capability, not just a one-time fix.
Okay.
So
it's not just fancy words, as you mentioned. It's all really a part of your business strategy.
Yeah.
What you're trying to achieve with the businesses that you're working.
Trust me, I spent more time putting that together than launching the business because I wanted it to be meaningful. Yeah, it's my why. Why am I creating this? Why is this going to matter in our community?
Yeah, I understand. Can you share some recent examples of how Tidal Edge Consulting helped a client with digital transformation or AI integration or implementing new technologies within the firm?
Yeah, absolutely. When I'm thinking about examples, I have 3 examples that come to mind. They're all very, very different from each other.
You can say one before we go to commercial break.
Okay. Okay. So I'm gonna just throw out there the one that we helped an agency outside of Cayman. It wasn't in Cayman, but it was about business continuity planning.
Okay.
Just because we finished talking about that a few seconds ago. And what's really important here is in the traditional business continuity planning, we primarily always focus on the physical disruption. And what Tidal Edge does is that we help them modernize it by introducing digital risk scenarios. And not only that, but we also help them create virtual rehearsals. A lot of the rehearsals nowadays is people around the table with all these papers, emails being sent left and right. It disrupts the whole business day because they are simulating it in real life to see what happens. And what we're actually helping people do is a virtual twin of your company, keeping together everything that it's virtually like a flight simulator for your business, where you don't have to be flying a plane and pretend that it's going to crash to see how you react. You jump on the flight simulator and then you pretend that it's going to crash, and then you see your reaction. So we're helping companies create these virtual simulations within their business continuity plan. What happens if get everybody on that virtual business continuity planning and see how they react? And that will help them just get comfortable with it. And when it happens in real life, they'll all say, oh, I've done this. I know exactly what to do with this.
Yes.
And you do that with technology.
That's very interesting. I feel like I need to see this. I need to see this example happen. You got to bring me on one of your one of your projects. So
yeah, see this. It's really cool.
I'd like to see that.
Yeah, it's safe. It's controlled, and it really just minimizes the disruption that we have in real businesses.
It shows the risks, very much so. Not just on paper, kind of, you're looking at words, but you're visually seeing the things that could happen.
Yeah.
And which, can visually, when you see something, that's one thing when you hear, but when you see as well, it has a whole different effect on you.
Yeah.
So I think that's a very interesting way of showing a company the risks and then what they can do to mitigate those risks.
Yeah, and it really is about breaking down and saying, you know how we go into companies and we're just like, we're going to go through the lessons learned of what went wrong. We don't have to go to the lessons learned of what went wrong in real life. We go to the lessons learned of what happened in that virtual scenario.
Okay.
And how my applications, my processes, my people actually reacted to that virtually in my virtual twin company to that disaster.
That's just so interesting.
That is really cool.
Yes, it is. Okay, we're going to go to a break now. When we come back, we're going to hear a little bit more. I want to say a lot more, but it's going to be a little bit more from Cristina Spratt and Tidal Edge Consulting.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
Tired of burning cash at the gas pump and wasting time in traffic? Say goodbye to gridlock and hello to freedom with a Kimco scooter from Automotive Art. Trusted in over 100 countries, Kimco is now known worldwide for reliable, fuel-efficient scooters built to last. Perfect for Cayman's roads. With 2 models to choose from, the Agility 125cc for just $23.99 and the Agility RS Naked 125cc for $24.99. It's the smart, budget-friendly way to beat traffic and cut costs. Visit Automotive Art today and ride smarter with Kimco, because saving money should never mean slowing down. Are you feeling overwhelmed, sad, stressed out, or suicidal and need support? Call 1-800-534-6463. K-Mind, Mental Health Helpline. It's okay to ask for help. K-Mind Mental Health Helpline, available from 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. Monday to Friday. It's free and confidential support and guidance on your emotional and psychological health.
The Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller.
Welcome back to The Buzz. I'm your host, Kathy Miller, and I'm speaking with Cristina Spratt, founder and principal consultant at Tidal Edge Consulting. Cristina had just given an example of how Tidal Edge helped a business with a little bit of a digital transformation. And I think you're going to share one more example of how Tidal Edge, how do I say Tidal Edge? Can you believe that? Tidal Edge helped a small business out.
Yeah. So the one example I wanted to actually give, that it just comes down to just complement the bigger example that I gave, because the bigger example that I gave is big, it's fancy, it's really cool,
costly too.
But it's a bit costly. But there's businesses that actually need that, and obviously depending of their scale, that's also going to scale the cost.
Right.
But small businesses, and I have a passion for small businesses, because now that I have my own small business, I actually see all the work, the time, the tears, the stress, the roller coaster that a small business is. And they're just like, oh man, I really want that, but can I afford that? And what I'll say is, I've done work with a small business, and it was really rewarding, because it doesn't have to be extensive. It could just be a few sessions where we're actually looking at what that small business is spending their time on. And just by very easy, adoptable tools, make their lives easier. They don't have to go the fancy route. There's so many tools out there. But the challenge is that typically when you're on a small business, you're running that small business with your passion of what you really do good.
Yeah.
Not about everything else that's around it that you need to have for your company to run.
Right.
So just a few sessions can help businesses really see a transformation. Like this small business, I would dare to say that at least improved 40% on how they were operating.
What was a small change, that tool that you introduced?
Oh gosh, it was from how they were invoicing, sending those invoices out to their customers, how they were interacting with their customers in the reminders that they were sending out, how all of this just suddenly became automated, because it kept on being the same process over and over and over. And they knew what was going to happen. They just didn't have the right tools in place to help.
Right. No, I completely, and I feel like I'm going to have to give you a call right after this show.
And it's just about automating those little things.
Gotcha.
It's not fancy. It's simple. But sometimes we don't think about those things.
I think that's a great example that you shared right there. And as I said, I might just have to give you a call to help with that very thing. All right.
Go for it.
Emerging technologies can be a stumbling or a long learning block for some businesses. So how do you understand what new technologies a business could implement for greater productivity? Just like in that example you gave. Because you have to know the technologies that are out there and what a business could use to be greater in their output and productivity. So how do you marry those things together?
Let me think about this.
Okay.
So the biggest challenge that I see that's out there, and I'm just going to start by that, just because it really is a big part of what we do, is the fear of losing control. When we're looking at technology, it's the fear of, if I put that there, I'm going to lose control of it. There's also the lack of communication between the teams, or other teams being left out of the process. And that's where really change isn't just about the tech, it's about the people who use it. And I feel that I deviated from the actual question that you sent to me.
Well, no, I kind of feel like you're on it because, yeah, there's the tech and there's the people that use it, but it's you understanding as a consultant, this is what the business needs for the tech.
Yes.
Right? And trying to make them understand that this is what they need. How do you make that happen?
Yeah, and that's where the roadmaps kick in place.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where the roadmaps kick in place, and that's where we actually look at the processes. And interesting enough, sometimes companies have small teams. They all use the same information, but in a different way.
Yes. Small teams that work in silos. Yes.
Yes.
It's a government thing.
It's not just government. Let me just throw that out there. It's not just government.
I can only speak from my perspective here. Yes.
And
bit of a jokey joke for all those who might be a little sensitive to that comment.
But it's natural because the executive that's looking at it is looking at it from the team that's crying the most, not the other ones. And then when they fix that, the other ones are just like, hold on a second, but I also use that information, but I use it in this way. Did you consider me?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's where the roadmap kicks in place.
Okay. I get that.
Yeah.
So AI, as we've mentioned, it is one of the greatest advancements and changes to how business gets conducted. So what's your approach to introducing AI innovation with the business? Does it begin with the ethical and kind of regulatory compliance, or here's some AI tools, just put it into your business, figure out how to use it, and then deal with the ethics later? I mean, I feel like sometimes that's how I be doing things. I'll just deal with the ethics later. Let me get what I got to get done now, right?
Yeah.
And some businesses have that urgency.
Yeah. And that is definitely something that I actually enjoyed a lot while I was going on my journey of certifying myself as a chief AI officer, that it's not just about introducing the AIs into the workplace, but it's also about making sure that we are actually thinking about what that AI is bringing to the table. Is it aligning with my strategy? Are my employees using it the right way? What happens if it goes wrong? How am I going to react to that wrongdoing? And that's where I go back to, don't forget, if you're using AI in your business, however it is that you're using it, they're part of your business. You can't go back to your customer and say, oopsie, that was just the AI. That wasn't me.
Right.
You can't do that.
That was our robot.
That was our robot. That was
apparently he's not supposed to make any mistakes, but
yeah,
I gotcha.
And very conveniently, they're really not part of the organization. The people are.
Do you really think a business should focus on the ethical part of it first before introducing AI tools?
I feel that they complement each other.
Okay.
I don't feel that it's something that you can't do one without the other. But the same way as you have an ethics training in your company, the same way as you have a cybersecurity training in your company, and I'm going more on the technical side, there has to be a training on how to use AI correctly.
Yes.
Because if you don't do that, your employees are left to do whatever they want.
Yes. And with me, that could be
and
that could be a dangerous thing.
That could be dangerous with a lot of people.
All right, I'm so cognizant of the time here, so we have just about 5 minutes left, and there's a few questions I want to get out there. So agile transformation is something that Tidal Edge Consulting offers, and it's a bit of a buzz term as well. Can you explain what is meant by agile transformation and why it's an important step in digital transformation?
Okay, so this one, it gets a smile on my face because this is one of the ones that I was just like, and this is how I'm going to be doing all these changes by agile transformation. And yes, it's a buzzword. And sometimes I roll my eyes when I hear so many people talking about agile. And you're like, so you're doing this at turtle speed. How are you agile?
Ouch.
But it sounds pretty, right?
Yes.
It sounds really creative. Mm-hmm. And really what agile is, it enables business to move forward with greater clarity and confidence. It avoids the pitfalls of lengthy, inflexible processes. When you're doing a very long process, that's when like all the little can of worms start popping out. All the skeletons that are in the closet start popping out. And then suddenly your change, your transformation stops in a halt because it's just like, oh, shoot, now we have to deal with that can of worms, or, oh, let's just ignore that skeleton in the closet. Let's just stick it back in there. And agile transformation, what it really does is that it takes things, as I've been talking about it earlier in the conversation. It's a simple way of looking at steering a cargo ship. If you're steering a cargo ship, everything is just going to take time to steer that cargo ship. But if you have a speedboat, you can do that steering really quickly, right? Mm-hmm. It's the same thing with agile transformation. Mm-hmm. This is my roadmap. How do I just see those quick wins in bite size? And that is something that we focus a lot on in every engagement that we do. And not one engagement has been the same.
Okay. All right. I like that. I'm so cognizant of the time here. So 3 minutes.
Okay.
I'm telling you 3 minutes so you're
okay.
aware, because I want to get through these two questions right here. Introducing new technologies and methodologies can often be met with a lot of resistance. A lot of people don't like change, don't want to learn something new. So what are the biggest cultural or operational challenges when introducing new tech and methodologies in a business?
Really important. The biggest challenges is typically fear of losing control.
Okay, and you did mention that. Okay.
Yeah, it's the fear of losing control, the lack of communication. If we're not communicating, we're not moving forward correctly because we're not understanding our teams. And it's about leaving teams out of the process. If we are not engaging everybody or giving that general understanding of this is what we're doing, this is what we're trying to achieve, and this is why we're trying to achieve it, and we're not listening, that's when the hiccups start.
Okay, I like that. You also have a partnership with Ouija Labs. How does this collaboration strengthen delivery from strategy to deployment for your clients? What does Ouija Labs do for you?
Okay, so Ouija Labs is a company that has been out there also for 20 plus years. Mm-hmm. But they have been focused specifically on developing software, developing tools that companies need, developing from very secure, effective end-to-end user engagements to tools that are specifically for internal use that make the employees' lives easier. How we complement each other. I might have really creative ideas, but then they come and they say, something that sounds amazing, but this is what's going to require to get from that point to that point. But if you look at it from this other perspective, it's going to take less time. So although I bring the experience of putting together those roadmaps, Ouija Labs comes and takes it to like the end of the line in the race.
Okay.
Yeah?
I gotcha. Yeah, makes sense. And my final question for you, which I'm glad that I have maybe a minute to get to this question here. As we're closing off, on a personal reflection of your 20 plus years in your professional journey encompassing infrastructure, systems, governance, and AI, which for you has been the most transformative?
Oh God, yes. I have worn so many hats in my life, and some people sometimes get surprised of all the hats that I've had in my life. In university, I was a teacher. A lot of people don't know that, and that's where my education vein kicks in. My mom was a teacher, so it just came, I guess I was born with it. I was hearing her teach when I was in her belly. But then I was an engineer, and I started my professional life in the vendor side of things, in product management and business development. Then I moved into sales leadership, and I was running a telecommunications company. So those hats change you a lot. And they taught me something different about how technology moves from concept to the customer. Like, concepts are really nice, and when you read things, it's like, this sounds amazing. But how does this actually impact the customer? How does this actually impact my business? And that is something in the journey that I've loved, and that's why I created Tidal Edge. And it really just shifts from operational delivery into strategic advisory. Because one thing is you focused on that operational delivery of the day-to-day grind to really, how do I need to look at the bigger picture? How do I step away from the forest and, from all these trees and actually look at the forest and say, this is how I need to move forward. And that's why I'm so passionate about helping businesses and governments navigate these shifts. You hear me doing a lot of work within Tidal Edge, also in volunteering time with it, because I don't want to just see it from the tech perspective, but I also want to see companies, businesses, Cayman move from strategy to trust to that structure, and actually give the trust that technology needs to have for it to work for us.
I like that. That's a great way to wrap. All right, Cristina, thank you so much for joining us. If people want to get in touch with you, I know through your website, TidalEdge.com.
Yes.
All right. Any other way you want people to reach out to you? Email?
Yes. So TidalEdge.com, really simple, TidalEdge.com. They can call me directly. My phone number is 917-3456. Can't be easier. 917-3456. Or you can just drop me an email at CS, Cristina Spratt. You don't have to worry how to spell my name. CS@TidalEdge.com.
Okay, easy. Thank you so much for joining us. We got to go to the 9 a.m., slightly late 9 a.m. headline news, and then I'll be joined by Dan Ebanks afterwards.
From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines. Local, regional, international news.
The headline news is brought to you by Kirk Market and Health Services Authority.
There were more than 1,700 jobs advertised in August. The Workforce Opportunities and Residency Cayman's August jobs posting report says that's down from about 1,800 logged in July. The vast majority of those postings were in the construction industry, clocking in at about 23% of the total job postings. In international news, lawmakers have released a copy of a birthday book given to the late convicted pedophile financier Jeffrey Epstein in 2003. Which includes a note allegedly signed by U.S. President Donald Trump. The book was released with a trove of documents that includes Epstein's will and his personal address book with contacts that include royalty, celebrities, models, and politicians from around the world. It also contains a birthday message from Lord Peter Mandelson, the UK ambassador to the U.S., in which he calls Epstein, quote, my best pal. The White House denied the alleged letter is from Trump, which features a drawing of a woman's body, and said the president, quote, did not draw this picture and he did not sign it. And 23 people have been killed in a Russian airstrike on a village in eastern Ukraine. The victims were ordinary people collecting their pensions at the Donetsk settlement of Yorova, according to President Volodymyr Zelensky. Donetsk's regional leader said emergency services were at the scene and as many people were wounded. If confirmed, the death toll would be among the heaviest attacks on Ukrainian civilians in recent weeks, 42 months into Russia's full-scale invasion. Those are your headlines. I'm Carsley Fuller.
More news available at www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
Do you have a healthcare question but not sure who to ask? Contact HSA's Patient Call Center to speak to one of our experienced clinical team members. We are here to answer your questions and help guide you through your healthcare journey. Need to make an appointment? Our team can help. Contact HSA at 949-8600 or email info@hsa.ky. At HSA, we are committed to caring for you.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
The Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller.
Welcome back to The Buzz. I'm your host, Kathy Miller, and we are pivoting a little bit. So we went from your kind of entrepreneurship, a little bit of business info with Polar Bear Air Conditioning. Then we went to Tidal Edge Consulting, and now we're going to get into the cultural entertainment aspect of things, which is, for me, always my favorite part of any interview that I do, because, you know, I'm all about the music and things that move me, which is music. So I am welcoming to this segment of the show Dan Ebanks. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
I'm good, yeah.
It's our first time meeting.
Yeah. I've been on Radio Cayman before, but I think this is my first time ever meeting you.
Yeah, it is. It's definitely our first time because I would definitely remember meeting you. I know a lot of the different musicians, artists in Cayman for sure. I hadn't met you guys yet, but I have seen you perform.
Yeah.
And it was absolutely lovely. And I very much remember it because it was acoustic guitar and you just singing. So just you.
Yeah.
I think it was some cover songs and acoustic guitar, and I'm Canadian, so
nice.
The whole like acoustic guitar and just a vocal, to me, there's a beautiful presence about that.
Yeah,
and it's just very simple but strong and powerful.
Music at its rawest form.
Yes, absolutely, and I loved it. It was just pure, and you were great. You were very entertaining, and so I was like, okay, let's see what this guy does. And I have seen you open for so many artists over the few years. I haven't seen you physically. I've heard of you opening.
Yeah.
So you've had a pretty interesting career. So I guess just introduce yourself to our listeners. Tell us a little bit about who you are as a musician as well.
Hello. Is that a good start?
Long intro.
I'm Dan Ebanks. I'm a recording artist or a live performing artist. It's still a bit early for me, so this is super early for me.
I know the feeling.
But yeah, other than that, I play live music, and music is my career. I've been doing it now for 7 years here in Cayman Islands. And I used to live elsewhere, but then I came back here. So
Barcelona, I heard.
In Barcelona, yeah.
Yeah. So I'd like to hear about that little change, because that was just a few years ago, wasn't it?
It was, I think about 3 years. Oh my gosh, time flies when you're having fun. Yeah, so 3 years ago, I was living in Barcelona for about 2 years. And I came back kind of just to pursue my music. But while I was there, I kind of met like other people through, performing out live and also doing like open mics. And yeah, that was during the time I was also signed to a label. So it was kind of between Barcelona and London. So yeah, a little Europe feel. But yeah.
What made the Barcelona move?
I was in a relationship before, and it kind of brought me to Barcelona.
Okay.
But specifically because the music there is a lot more, engaging, I would say.
Oh, it's different. There's a bit of a different kind of fiery pulse.
Yeah.
Under Spanish music.
Oh yeah,
right?
Yeah. It's very different. The style of music there that they had was flamenco. They had funk. They had a lot of reggae. Believe it or not.
Yeah.
I think I was the only person playing soca, but it was still cool because they liked it because they like all kinds of music. So yeah, I got to learn a lot while I was there. Also Spanish.
Did that influence you musically as an artist? Like, do you think that's changed your sound a little bit?
Yeah, no, 100%. Because I always class myself as a musician before I class myself as an artist. So I learned like a lot of guitar pieces or a lot of songs that I never would have learned unless I had the right people in front of me to kind of say, hey, learn this, So yeah, I learned a lot while I was there.
What instruments do you play?
I play... What do I don't play?
No, really, because I'm going to start comparing you to Yannick. Yannick, I'm going to have to call you in. I would like a battle of the instruments that you guys can play.
He beat me with the saxophone, that's for sure. I tried that, but yeah.
He just popped his head up in the studio window like, I'm going to win this right now.
I play guitar. That's my main instrument.
Yeah.
Piano, I'm going to try to introduce that to my set when I'm playing live. Drums, bass, the core instruments.
That's a lot.
To think of it. Saxophone is definitely a core instrument. No offense there, Yannick.
I pretty much got kicked out of piano lessons and after being on the same level for I don't know how many years, which was the first level. So.
Oh, wow.
I just wouldn't practice. And I really regret it. So.
Yeah, the most important part isn't the rehearsals with the teacher, but it's actually what you do after.
Yeah, which I wouldn't do. I just do my own thing.
Some people are just meant for radio.
Thanks. Not even TV. Did you hear that?
I bet you hear on radio.
I'm just teasing. So you said you were signed to a label because I thought you still are signed to a label?
No longer. No.
Okay.
So I was released from contract about a year ago.
Okay.
So yeah. It wasn't working. It wasn't like,
That was a local record
company.
Yeah,
exactly.
Right, okay.
So I think for them, they were kind of picturing this thing that was going to maybe blow up and be like the biggest thing. Whereas like, I think they just kind of forgot there's a lot of work behind the scene, which it ended very well, like nothing rude or anything. So it was okay. But yeah, I learned so much being with the label. And I also learned like a lot of different things when it comes to, that was me.
I was totally going to tease you right there. You didn't learn about feedback, but anyway, I'm totally teasing you.
But yeah, so I made a lot of connections also while I was there. A lot of people were from like London, for instance. A lot of my connections, in fact, all of my connections are in London, but I learned those connections through my the label that I was signed to. So
okay. And well, I understood that you were supposed to be working on your first EP with your label.
Yeah. I was.
And I would hope that you're still working on your first EP. So where are you at in this whole process?
So I released one song with them.
Mm-hmm.
And in that process, we were working on other songs. But because the contract ended, I still got the opportunity to write 10 songs. So they gave me 10 songs, basically. So I'm sitting on 10 songs for like the past year. I don't know what it was that kind of stopped me from wanting to release. I think I kind of want to know what my sound is before I go and just release music. So there's 10 songs out there.
There are 10 songs out there,
yes.
But for you, it's more for you understanding what your sound is.
Exactly. Yeah.
So then what do you think your sound is right now?
That's a good question. Because now I'm getting into reggae. I don't think my sound is reggae at all. But yeah, I don't know. I kind of want to make something that's Caymanian, but also pop. Because I'm very much a pop artist, but I also love to do guitar solos or anything really with a solo. So that feeling of having like that live feel where, that's a weird way to explain that. Let's try that again. Revert. Neo soul, R&B, and funk. Those are my sounds.
Mm-hmm.
Particularly because when I play them live, it feels more energetic. It feels more like something that somebody would move to when they listen to it. So kind of like Stay Gone in a sense, but with more.
And is Stay Gone that single that you were referring to that you released?
Yes.
Okay. Which is a beautiful song, by the way, and a beautiful video, amazing video.
Thank you.
I will have to say my favorite part is you skateboarding in it.
Oh, yeah?
Yes. I came here originally to run the skate park.
Nice.
So that's why there's a connection there for me. I was like, okay, look at him skateboard. Already I'm a fan.
Oh, nice.
So there was that.
Cool. I don't skateboard anymore, but I still make music. So there you go.
My boss would hate to learn that I still do. So
yeah.
I would never admit if I am or not. I've had terrible injuries. Okay. Okay, cool. So you're sitting on 10 songs.
Yeah.
10 songs or 9 songs? Because you released Stay Gone.
You know what? That's a good point.
9 songs.
So it's 10 songs.
10 songs. Okay.
Yes.
Now, I guess those may never release because that was with that label?
No. So they gave me the rights to the songs. So
okay.
The way that my contract worked, all that good stuff, I made sure I was able to do that. So if anything was to happen, I would still have those songs. The issue is that I worked with so many different producers. So when you release a song, you have to do your splits and all these good stuff.
Yeah.
So for me to release those, I would rather re-record it so that I don't have to go through the trouble.
Or re-record it immediately.
Yeah, but maybe they're not the songs. I wrote a song for a friend of mine who lost his mom. And that wasn't a part of the label. And that song I want to release because it's such a beautiful song.
Yeah.
And it represents me more as an artist because I'm more than just a song about breakups, So I want to also lead into that. I don't want to be the person who only writes breakup songs. I don't want to be the Sabrina Carpenter of...
You don't want to be the heartbreaking
out there. Heartbreaking, exactly. No, not me.
I understand that.
Yeah.
I get it. Maybe you'll be just singing about love in the future and know more about breakups.
Maybe I'll be singing about my newborn baby.
Oh, you have a new baby?
Not yet. No.
Okay.
No, she's not here yet, but
okay.
But it's in the process.
Okay. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, look at this manifesting things, although the baby's already cooking, I guess, per se.
Baking. Yeah.
Baking, yes.
In the
There you go.
yeah.
Clearly, I don't have kids. Otherwise, you don't cook them. All right. Let's go to commercial break right now. And when we come back, we'll continue our discussion with Dan Ebanks.
Tired of burning cash at the gas pump and wasting time in traffic? Say goodbye to gridlock and hello to freedom with a Kimco scooter from Automotive Art. Trusted in over 100 countries, Kimco is now known worldwide for reliable, fuel-efficient scooters built to last. Perfect for Cayman's roads. With 2 models to choose from, the Agility 125cc for just $23.99 and the Agility RS Naked 125cc for $24.99. It's the smart, budget-friendly way to beat traffic and cut costs. Visit Automotive Art today and ride smarter with Kimco, because saving money should never mean slowing down.
At 35 miles per hour, you have 3 seconds to react. At 50 miles per hour, just 1.5 seconds. That split second you save speeding could be the split second that saves a life. Most fatal crashes in Cayman involve speeding. Slow down, because arriving late is better than never arriving at all. Smart or reckless, your choice changes everything. Visit gov.ky/road safety.
Start. Stop. That's how long it takes to react to a child crossing the street. How long would it take you to apply the brakes? How long would it take the parents to forgive you? How long would it take you to forgive yourself? Slow down. Save a life. Not only theirs, but your own. Texting, speeding, and ignoring safety rules can cost lives. Visit gov.ky/road safety to learn more and help keep our roads safe.
The Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller.
Welcome back to The Buzz. I am your host, Kathy Miller, and we are talking with Dan Ebanks,
Hello.
a Caymanian musician and artist. Musician comes before the artist part, which was an important differentiation that you made a little earlier. I was like, oh, this is interesting. Okay. All right. So now of those, we talked about the 10 songs that you have that you're kind of sitting on. You don't know if you even want to kind of re-record them and put them out, because you described your sound, right? But then you said you're still kind of figuring out what your sound is. Is there, because you're now interested in reggae, right? There's you're deviating to reggae a little bit. So is there a sound that you want? Like, is there, some people, I want to be like Prince. You know what I mean? I mean, that would be amazing and, to aspire for that. But is there a particular sound that you want?
You know what? No, not really. Because I covered so much music over my years of playing music, because I do it full time. And when you do it full time, it's very different from just like doing one-off jobs.
Yeah. And
because of that reason, I found that any genre that I enjoy playing, I can play it. Like reggae, for sure, because I've done so many Bob Marley covers. Rock, I played pop, even like punk rock music, and country. So I just don't want to be set in a genre. But I also want to like release a few songs that says, hey, this is my primary genre. But when it comes to music, I don't want it to sit in one category.
Mm-hmm.
Ed Sheeran writes songs for like K-pop bands. And then he also does, if I'm not mistaken, country and all these different things. I think I want to lean towards writing music for people, or even just writing music in general. And for my actual sound, it'll be R&B, neo soul, pop, that kind of feel. So yeah.
So when it comes to creating your own music, writing your own music, are you the one majority writing your own music, lyrics, and?
Pretty much, yeah. When it came to Stay Gone, I think the actual music behind it, the piano, the drums, all that. I played all the instruments except for the drums.
That's awesome.
Which is the reason why I wanted to learn all these instruments. But when it came to writing, I can write the music for sure, but maybe that person who I'm working with would write something way better than what I would think of. Coco Chanel is in my song. I don't even know anything about Coco Chanel. Like, I would.
That's hilarious, because that line, I was like, this is just such an odd, not odd, but I was like, this guy either really knows his perfumes and like brands like that, but that did stand out to me.
Yeah. Which I think the reason why he did that is because he wanted that to happen. But for me, I can write a whole song. I've written many songs where, some of them are good, some of them are terrible. This song that I wrote for my friend who lost his mom, That is probably the best song that I've ever written, and I wrote it in 10 minutes. And it was through emotions that I was writing these songs. So all of my heartbreak songs, they're like written. Like,
did you give your friend that song?
Yeah. So he actually played it at his mom's eulogy.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't want to talk about it too much.
No, I know. Well, then you'll make me.
Yeah.
I'll start crying. You don't know me like
it's okay. Yeah.
I'll start crying right away. They have to no longer put the video on.
Yeah.
It's like, you'll be like, why is she crying? And I'll make you feel bad. Yes, we go live to YouTube and he just struck a pose. Live to YouTube
what
and
camera do I look at?
And Facebook. All of them. There's even secret cameras we don't know about.
Oh, nice.
No, I'm teasing you.
I'm a camera, you're a camera. But
definitely teasing you. Okay. Now I'm going to go back to those songs again. You said you're trying to find or maybe discover kind of a new sound with you. So what is it that you want to create going forward?
Something that people will remember. That's such an answer that it's like, I really wish I meant that.
That sounds, and don't take this the wrong way.
Yeah.
And I don't know if this is what musicians aim to do, but you want to make something that people will remember. And I understand that, and it's a beautiful thing. But it's also sounds like people pleasing.
It is.
And that's like a harsh term to put, and I don't want to sound so harsh. So what about for yourself? What about just creating for yourself?
I think music now is a little bit different. I do have a child on the way. And I think that at first, like let's say 7 months ago, I would make music and I would think, oh, people would love this. It's people pleasing. You're completely right. And when I found out I was having a kid, I think that kind of changed what I wanted, because I just think now if I was to write a song and it's a cool song, will she appreciate that song when she's old enough? Or, will my wife still love this song when I write a song about her? But when I wrote that song for, I can say his name, it's okay, not for Derek, it's easier to say it that way. It was so easy to write that song, and people reacted very nicely to that song. They really liked that song. In fact, it's one of their favorites, and it's not a song that I wrote for somebody. I wrote it how I felt, and I wrote it specifically for Derek, and that was the only person. And when he heard it, he fell in love with it, so I recorded it. And I think I want to kind of do music like that instead.
Okay.
Yeah, so like instead of, I want to write a song that's going to be cool, people enjoy it, and then because people enjoy it, I record it. Not necessarily because I want to write a song that goes, okay, this guy is going to like that. I want to write it for me first, enjoy it, and then have someone else enjoy it and go, okay, cool. If not, it's in my arsenal. I perform live, so I'm going to play it anyway.
Right.
Because I need to make up a 3-hour set. But yeah, I think I want to head in kind of like in that direction. I still have songs that I write all the time that I can release when people are like, hey, when are you going to release a song?
Right.
Like the 10 songs that I'm sitting on. But yeah, I kind of want to just, if I'm writing something, I want to write it with meaning.
I understand. More. Yeah. That's why I want to, I guess, hear about that creative process for you. What does it mean for you? What are the steps that you go through in that sense? I want to turn to the business side, because you have mentioned a couple times that you are a full-time musician. So this is not a Friday nights, you're playing at a hotel or restaurant, whatever it is. This is a full-time thing for you, which is, it can be a really hard job to sustain, or career to sustain in the Cayman Islands. How are you making it work? And you have a child on the way. How do you make it work? Like, what are the aspects of managing yourself and getting the shows and making sure all of your contracts are right? What is this like?
Luckily for me, I actually have not a manager, but a booking agent. And my booking agent deals with it. So I don't necessarily have to do all the hard work, I would say. I just do the performing, So it's a lot easier for it to just kind of, flow. So all I need to do is work on the creative process, or even just work on what songs I'm going to learn. A lot of times I might have like a wedding, for instance. And if I have a wedding, I have to learn a specific song. I get overwhelmed super easily. So like if it's a specific song for a first dance, then I lose everything.
No.
Yeah.
Have you had a bad experience?
Not really. The person that I signed for, they didn't have a bad experience. But for me, I was like, well, they don't even know I butchered that song. Like I ruined that song. But yeah, so for me, luckily, I don't necessarily need to do the business. I just collect a paycheck at the end of the month. And it's like a regular job for me, which is kind of sad to say, because my passion is my regular job. But it's also cool because my passion is my regular job. So yeah, the business side of stuff, I don't really do much. When it comes to my music now, releasing music, that's a very different story. Completely different story. Like releasing a song is one of the hardest things I ever had to do.
Why?
because there's so much work that goes into it. If you know anything about Instagram, you know that it's addicting.
I know a lot about from putting music together, audio engineering, that aspect. So that side of it, I know, but I'd love to hear from, your experience, the steps that you have to go through as an independent artist to put a song out.
Well,
what are the hard steps that we don't know about?
So when I can only use my first 4 songs that I ever released. Those songs actually were released completely through me. And it's just the creating video, creating content, getting your songs out in front of the right people. The easy part would be making a making a post and then promoting it through Instagram and Facebook. That's the easy part, But making sure the content that you're promoting is going to grab their attention and all these different things. 2025 is very different from like when I was releasing songs. I think it was 2020. Even that 5-year span is so different, like how you release songs and keeping up with the trends and all these different things just to release your own song.
Interesting.
Yeah. Also, I'm not a fan of Instagram. If I had a choice, I would just like pay one person to do everything for me. But I'm the person that needs to be in the videos, so it won't work that way, right?
That's true.
Yeah. So it's really just the content, and it's also just like the layout of how you want to have this song released. How do you get it on a Spotify playlist? How do you get it on an Apple Music playlist or different things? So yeah, that's why when it comes to my performing, like my actual live performance, where I make most of my money, all my money, I'm very appreciative to the fact that I don't have to do the bookings or deal with the payment or anything like that. So if someone needs to be the mean guy, that the artist doesn't have to do that,
right?
So
that can take a toll, and you can just focus on that creativity part,
exactly,
that performance part of you, the artistry part,
yes,
instead of the logistics part as well. Yeah, so it allows you that room to be even a greater artist.
Sure.
Okay, I like that. There's so many questions I want to ask you about your journey and everything else going on. Okay, so I know that you have opened up for some really big names out there. So Leanne Rimes, for example, being one of them. I don't know if you had, I can't remember if you had opened up for Michael Bolton. I mean, you can say yes, no, you can throw other names out at me. But there's been some big names. And out of that, could you say in interacting with them or watching how they move backstage or on stage that you've gleaned certain lessons from them? You've really learned some things and you've put that into your own performance or your own ethic?
Yeah, 100%. Well, let's just clarify. I did not open up for Leanne Rimes.
Oh, you did not?
Technically, she opened up for me. No.
Oh, okay.
She was actually, we were in the lineup. She was earlier. That's
well,
all
then
that was. Yeah,
technically, she did open up for you. So we're gonna go that way. Okay. My bad.
But I did not open up, but like I played right before Coffee and also right before UB40. Yes. But I was in a press conference, funny enough, with UB40. And one thing that I learned from that whole situation is that UB40 is so chill. Like, they don't even say anything. They might have been, like, super hungover the night before. So they did not say anything, like, to anybody except for, like, the lead singer. He was like, hey, you're that Caymanian guy. And I was like, yeah. Because I was the only one there, and it was, like, 12 of them. But watching them perform, it was nostalgic. It was cool. But it was also, like, for me, as a performer, I wanted more. Which is okay to say because UB40, those guys are older. They've been doing it for years, so their recipe really works. But watching them was cool because I got to see, like, you don't necessarily need the bells and whistles. You don't need fireworks and all that good stuff. You just need a performance, which is what they did. So for me, when I was to perform the next year, I pulled back to everything and I just did the live looping for me, like, because I wanted to do what was my first thing, which was live looping. So the year after, I just did that. People liked it. All 3 people that were in the crowd, they loved it. But like, let's say,
did you just say all 3 people that were in the crowd?
I was in the super early set, so like it was, but it's okay. No, like it was literally like 3 people, but they were amazing and they loved it. So yeah, I did learn a lot. Coffee was amazing. When I saw her perform, I was like, okay, this is cool.
Yeah.
I loved her band. I'm a huge band guy, so I love arrangements and different things. So I pulled some ideas from that, and I use it for my live, like my regular gigs, not necessarily my like big performances or my I don't know, agua gigs or other places. But yeah, I learned a lot of like arrangements and different things just watching those people. So, and also just performing as an artist, you need to learn how to maintain your character on stage.
Yes.
Which I have a huge thing for. I can't get up on stage and keep still. you know, or I can't get up on stage and do too much. Like, that's not me. You know, my thing is this thing, and no one's going to say, hey, you need to do more. But, you know, I don't know if that answered your question, but I feel like it did.
It absolutely did. And I understand what you mean about being on stage and, you know, not wanting to do the extra.
Yeah.
In that sense, I feel you. Just being authentic in who you are.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get that a lot. Okay. We got to close out. The show's about to end. Well, it did end technically according to the time frame, but
I apologize for my 4-minute lateness.
So there we go. That we get a little 4-minute
there you go.
belie right there in that sense. What is new for you? What can we expect?
More music, for sure. Even if I have those 10 songs and I say I'm not going to release them, I do need to release something because it's been a year. I did mention that a baby's coming, so that's new also.
Yes, congrats.
I'm going to be a daddy. So when I write music now, it's a father writing music.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, I'm planning on being in Cayman Islands, so I don't plan on leaving anytime soon.
Okay.
So there'll be a lot more music made straight out of Cayman Islands. And I think it's cool because I'm going to find new ways to promote the music without having to leave, which is a big deal for like people who are on the island and they don't have that option to leave, so they can learn how to do that. Also, I'm going to start looping classes because I think that people need to actually understand looping.
And I didn't even get to talk to you about that.
That's okay. That's okay. That's what we got YouTube for.
Yes, that's true. But, you know, I'd rather talk to you and learn myself. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Where can people watch you perform?
Right now, you can watch me at Holiday Inn from 6:30 till 8:30. That is the main one. The best thing to do is to check my Instagram. And on my Instagram, I post where I play. Because right now, my gigs are random from September until November.
So share your Instagram.
It's dan.ebanks. It's dan.ebanks.
All right. So follow at dan.ebanks to keep up with your appearances, the musical performances, and whatever else is going to be new with you. We might get those 10 songs. They might be re-recorded and released.
Yeah.
I know a great person. There's Yannick Powell over here that works with us.
Oh, yeah.
That would be great at re-recording. And, you know, I'm just throwing that out there. Other than that, thank you so much for joining me on The Buzz. It was great to meet you and have a really quick chat with you. It's so much more I'd love to hear about your musical journey, and I hope to in the near future as well. All
Awesome.
right. Everybody
Nice
I was about to say have a great Thursday. Look at me. Have a great Tuesday out there.
The Buzz is proudly sponsored by Cayman Insurance Center, specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services. And Kirk Market. Experience a world of choice. And Automotive Art Cayman. Your car, our passion.